And I can assure you, he's a black guy, but he will get out of my room as a white guy. Because that I can't accept. But I know why. I know why. Suddenly, Boki is a star. He thinks he's a star. He thinks he has. This is the attitude of a star. I decide when I come. I will explain him. I will explain him. And I'm very angry of his attitude.
Hello, Amako's family. Welcome back. And we have breaking news. The South African Football Association SAFA and Bafana Bafana coach Hugo are under scrutiny following remark made about defenders Mbokazi Mbokazi and his agent. The comments widely criticized and racial and gender insensitive had prompted public concern and called for accountability. Safa and Bruce have pledged to cooperate fully with an independent review and take collective action to uphold the value of respect, equality, and professionalism. UNM reports Bafana Bafana coach Hugo to the South African Human Rights Commission for light resisting sexist remark of Mbokazi MLS moved and late arrival in 2025 Afcon camp. South African political party United Democratic Movement UDM has angrily reacted to U-turns made by the Belgian coach as he took aim to his defender and the player's agent, who facilitated the transfer from the Bacanas to North America. According to Times Live, a letter to SAHRC signed by UDM Secretary General Yongama Zigebe quoted Section 9 of Constitution that express prohibits unfair discrimination on the ground of race, gender, and other protected categories. The report comments racial coded, derogatory, and gender discrimination cannot be dismissed as offhand remark. Read the letter. They carry historical and cultural significance in a society still healing from the institutionalism of racism and sexism. Public figures, particularly those instructed with national team, bear highlighted obligation to uphold the value of non-racialism, no sexism, respect and equality. An independent investigation has been requested by the UDM, they called SAHRC to issue appropriate recommendation to ensure accountability and corrective massive. End of quote. So let's see what's happening. During the press conference in Pretoria ahead of 2025 African Cup of Nations, Bruce experienced his frustration at 20 years old defender Mbokazi for arriving late to the national team camp after missing a flight following Orlando Pirates Cup final. Bruce also criticized Mbokazi's move from Pirates to Chicago Fire in Major League Soccer MLS, saying he don't think it was a strong career destination and praised his announce that the player missed his flight. During the same press interaction, Bruce made comment referring Mbokazi's race. He is a black guy, but he will leave my room as a white guy, which he later tried to clause as meaning pale with concern after a stem discussion. He also described Mbokazi's agent, Basia Michael, in this massive team, calling her a nice little woman who thinks she knows football, comments that have been interpreted as sexist. UDM response. The UDM has formally reported Bruce to SAHRC, alleging that his remarks were racist and sexist and in violation of Section 9 of the South African Constitution, which prohibits unfair discrimination on ground including race and gender. So the complaint said the comment was racial coded, derogatory, and gender discrimination, and are unacceptable from someone in high-profile leadership role like the national coach. The part is requesting an independent investigation, appropriate recommendation, and accountability in collective measure from SAHRC. UDM also has written to SAFA, South African Football Association, expressing deep concern in the distinguished as coach uterus. In body reaction, Sporting Minister Gayton Kenzie has said he is waiting for Bruce and Safa to respond before issue a direct comment. Note that the remarks are currently open to interpretation. So interpretation vary, with some acquiring Bruce was attempting to use a metaphor example white meaning pack, with others see to language as sensitive or inappropriate given South African story around race and gender. So, the SAHRC may investigate to complement and could mark recommendation, which is theory could include referring the matter of quality court for enforcement through SAHRC power a limited SAFA official stance or any form of action from football authorities still pending public clarification. So about Mbokazi Mbokazi's late arrival of Afcon camp, Bruce experienced frustration at Mbokazi missing his flight and already shared the what happened. And report he said that Mbokazi arrived late because of poor planning and lack of professionalism, which agreed him as the coach. So exactly, perhaps in quarter in some source, he missed his flight and is as unacceptable when representing the national team. So we see it is something very simple, but the coach take it very high. It is too bad, by the way. So in 60 comment about agent regarding Boko's agent, Busia Mitchell's Bruce report, she's nice little woman who thinks she knows football. This and the perhaps was seen as a dismissive and gender demonstration which targeted the UTM complaint. In general, however, his comment was described as frustrating and critical of the player's professionalism, racial coded in one instance, sexist dismissive toward the agent. The UTM complained about this, something which is not doing. So what they should do? Immediate selection by Football Association SAFA. Investigate internal SAFA should interview Bruce Mbokazi and agent and any witnesses. Issue a public statement. Reassure the public that allegation of racism and sexism are taken serious and that is fair investigation is going. Temporary measure if needed. Depending on investigation, Bruce will be temporarily relieved of duties to maintain trust and team stability. Also, independent review. SAHRC involvement since UDM has referred to it, the SAHRC, the independent investigation can examine if Bruce statement violate the quality provisions of the Constitution, provide recommendation which may include training, warning, and more serious penalties. Also, accountability measure for Bruce. Mandatory sensitivity training focus on racial, culture, and gender awareness to prevent future incidents. Public apology, a sincere acknowledgement of the harm caused both Mbokazi and the agent and the clarification of intent. Disciplinary action, if warranted, could range from formal warning to suspension, depending on finding. Also, support from Mbokazi and his agent, counseling and mediation ensure the player and agent feel supported and their reputation protected. Clear communication of rights, inform them of legal and institutional avenue if they feel harmed by comment. Also, preventative steps for the future. Policy enforcement SAFA should issue codes of conduct for coaches and staff regarding discrimination and harassment. Training for leadership, national team staff could attend workshop and inclusive leadership and media communication, monitoring language in public forums. Coaches should be advised on how they critique professionalism without referencing race or gender. So the goal isn't just punishment, it is restoring trust, protect players, and preventing requires a transparent, fair, and accountable approach helps everyone, including the team, the public, and the Bruce himself. So let's see. On the South African Football Association, SAFA and Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce acknowledged the recent public mark regarding players. SAFA and Coach Bruce wish to clarify the following. First, acknowledge and of concern. We understand that sometimes comments made during media interaction were perceived as racial insensitive and gender demeaning. SAFA takes allegation of discrimination very serious, and such remarks are not in line with the value of respect, quality, and non-racism that Bafana Bafana and SAFA uphold. Commenting to investigation, SAFA had launched an independent review of the independent according to with relevant oversight bodies including South Africa Human Rights Commission. If required, they aim to ensure a fair, transparent, and throughout investigation. Accountability measure. Coach Hugo Bruce has expressed regret for any offense caused by and he is full of cooperating with the SAFA independent investigators pending the outcome that following measure will be implemented. Mandatory sensitive and inclusivity training in racial, culture, and gender awareness for all national team staff. Professional media training to guide public communication and critical of players or agents. Ongoing dialogue with the affected parties to ensure concerning are addressed and the relationship are required. Commitment to core values. SAFA reiterates it is commitment to build a national team culture based on respect, equality, professionalism, and accountability. We remain steadfast, ensuring that all players, staff, and representatives feel safe, valued, and supported. We thank the public for their engagement and patience as we navigate this matter responsibly. This is kind of statement work well because they acknowledge the issue without reflecting responsibility, commit independence. So, guys, thanks for joining. This is Sports Queen, and that is the latest on Hugo Bruce about and the Bafana Bafana Vesera. What do you think? Should the coach face consequence, or was this blown out of proportion? Drop your thought and in the comments below. Hit like if you find the update useful, and don't forget to subscribe in all latest football news. This is Sports Queen. Enjoy.